I'm Lola.
And I'm Mamuna. Together, we have a combined 35 years of experience within the tech scene in North America and Europe.
We talk about the highs, the lows, the WTFs of navigating the technology industry and answer your questions about navigating tech careers.
This is Lost in Tech.
Hi.
Okay, so before we go into today, you have a hot take.
I have a hot take. This is we might make this a thing. It's like Lola's rants and reasonings, but
let's let it out.
There is a hubris that exists in our tech world, and sometimes it's fair. We have this kind of cultural thing that like tech is eating the world. If you're an engineer, you can write any code for anything. If you are a tech founder that's managed to sell a business or make some money, you must be the best leader for any circumstance or whatever. And sometimes we do not know what the flick we are talking about. And I'm gonna need us to take deep breaths and stop assuming that because we can build software that we understand hardware, that we understand world hunger, that we understand racism, that we understand politics. I'm sorry calling you out, US, that we understand how to run the budget of a government that is not designed as a for-profit entity, right? Like, I get that there may be operational benefits that we can bring to scenarios around how to better use technology for certain things. But sometimes the lesson is know your limits and stay in your lane. And that is all I will share with the people.
I think it's interesting just to plus one you. I think a lot of times, not a lot of times, but some of the times people in the situations you describe that are in the situations, I think they assume that they got in there because of their own, whatever, grandeur. But sometimes it is a mix of luck. It is a mix of things around you. Like there's so many things, a confluence of events that happen to get you to where you are. And so because of those events, sometimes there's an inflated sense of self. And in that, they then say, oh, I can apply this thinking to this thing over here. And then they fail. And then they come running back.
But it's also the fact that actually the thing that is always worst understood in any scenario that we think we can apply our tech skills to is the people side. So if we think about like a government budget, I'm pretty sure somebody could look at a workflow and a process and they can balance a budget spreadsheet and maybe cut some costs, but they don't necessarily understand the job that other people have been doing. They don't understand the norms of that team. And so landing that change is a whole other kettle.
Change.
The implications. And I'll put a nod to something that it's an incredible concept called wicked problems. There was like these two, we'll put a link into the show notes. These two scientists years ago defined this concept of like wicked problems. And wicked problems are basically things that are so complex, so intertwined, that when you try and tackle and solve in one area, you may unintentionally create outcomes that actually make the problem worse in other areas, right? So it's like you might say, I want to tackle child poverty. And what you're actually neglecting is child poverty might be as a result of addiction, which is a health issue. It might be as a result of housing, job insecurity in their parents. So this issue of child poverty actually has these other linked factors. And you can start with the child poverty part, but then you've got to think about all these other things as well. And what I see in tech people is naivety about the wickedness of a problem. It's like, I think I built a really hard thing that I understood really well. So now I'm going to apply that ego to this other really hard thing that honestly, I do not understand as well. But because I already my other thing, you think I could do it, and I've decided I'm going to do it. And they walk in. It's like we'll start, what was it? Bob Geldof started raising money for African kids in the 80s.
Yep.
And we've basically created a really rubbish charity economy and ecosystem that's full of fraud and corruption and has not solved the problem.
Wow.
Unintentional, wealthy white guy singer wanted to do a good thing, turned into generations of bad things, right? That's exactly what tech people are replicating all over the place. And I just need us to stop. Or take your good intentions and go talk to someone who actually knows about the thing. That is all I would ask of us. Please, I beg, for your sanity, for the sanity of the generations down the line, for everybody's benefit.
I wonder
Please.
how that applies to tech in itself, too.
Go on.
So there are tech companies that expand into areas that they have no business expanding into and run into
All the time.
complexity that
All
they
the time.
realize. I don't even know if some of them realize it, but they are in it, deep in it. And what is that? Oh my gosh. The term where you're like, I've gone too far. I can't turn back because I've lost everything.
Sunk cost fallacy.
Cost fallacy, yes. There we go.
Yes.
And I feel like a number of companies take
All
these
the time.
and it's
All the
supposed to
time.
and the concept of that is that, hey, if it doesn't work out, we let it go and we keep moving forward. But they get invested. They're like, no, we have to keep going.
Yeah. No, I think my personal experience of that is doing hardware. Twice in my career, I have done hardware. And the first time I was fortunate enough to join a team at a time when they had learned a lot of the really hard lessons and they understood more about how much, like, hardware is, it's not just 2x the effort of software, like 15, 20x, and the timelines are about the same.
Yep.
And the second time, it's the hardware production was not the complicated part. It's fulfillment. It's like if I sell you a piece of tech software, all you need is an internet connection, and all I need is a service to upload that thing. If I sell you something physical that has a battery in it, I need to get it into your country. It needs to pass all of these requirements. It's heavy. It needs to be shipped. It needs to be insured. I need to make sure details are correct. And then all these countries have different rules, right? In the US, we're like, just my name and number, and some people want to give you an alias. But like, there's a whole bunch of countries in the world where you can't ship something without someone's, not just their government name, their government ID, like a full, there's so many unique elements. And I think there was a lot of naivety about how complicated that would be. And I see tech companies doing it all the time. We do it all the time. We think hardware is just a little bit more work. It's actually like 25 times more work. And I think the same is like, you built a really great game. Now please solve government educational problems. And it's like, this is not a software bug issue. This is very different context. Please stop, so.
I think the comment you made tucked in there is like the right one, which is there's someone who knows how to probably do it really well.
100%.
And if you are going to foray into solving children's hunger, ending poverty, doing hardware or whatever it is, it's like create the systems, the advisors, get those people in place to understand what exactly it is that you're potentially stepping into, and then make the informed decision that that is what you want to do and create the support around it to do it.
This is the advice I used to give because I used to do the talk Wicked Problems. I had a talk called Wicked Problems. I did it a few times at various conferences, and I was like, it's not that you shouldn't tackle really hard problems or try new things. It's that you should take more time to figure out what could go wrong, and then put better plans in place for dealing with those likely, even if unintentional, things that could go wrong. And I think every time you spend too long trying to ship, which is a massive bias that we have in today's tech economy, ship first, figure it out later. We inevitably, especially when you step it out your lane, you come across these unintended, but probably quite foreseeable consequences. That's a quote from another person I used to know, Kenneth. And he's like, unintended but foreseeable consequences. And if you fail to plan for them, it's stupid. It's naive. Like everybody else who knows about that thing is looking at you like, well, duh, I could have told you that.
Yeah.
You probably could have paid me a lot less than you pay your tech workers too, and I would have told you that for, maybe even for free.
Maybe for free. Yep.
So there you go.
All
Rant
right,
over.
Rant over.
Yes.
Get help. Talk to people.
We've made this show for you, and we want to hear your stories. We have our combined 35 years experience in tech. We have an incredible bank of experts to call on. We are your safe space. So send us your tech challenges and we'll help you create some draft decisions through some real talk.
You've been listening to me, Mamuna Oladipo.
And me, Oyelayo-Pearson.
Edited and produced by me, Michael Bussa, with theme music by 031 Mash.
Email us at help@lostintechpodcast.com or DM us at lostintechpod.